Thank you very much for tuning in to tonight's live. If you're tuning in now or tuning in after, I would greatly appreciate if you hit that like button, as it will help me push through the analytics and it will help a few of us reach more so that we have more than just a few of us, let's just say. But it'll allow us to be able to have more of you and I together in here, and then we'll be able to have a better, more active discussion. So, there's a lot to talk about tonight. I've got more than just the charts tonight. We got to talk about what Michael Saylor said. We need to talk about the apparent Ripple licensing that's taken place in, I believe it was 31 states now. So we'll take a look at that news as well. I didn't share it at all in any updates today because I wanted to share it with anyone who was in the live. I started the live a little bit later today, yes. A little bit of a intention here because I wanted to see how the market would react after we put in a Dragonfly Doji here. So I'm going to get into the intro and everything. But as you can see, it looks like a red candle, but that actually put in a very bullish candle here. That's a very nice candle. So if we can get some top end pressure here and break out of here, we could start a little reverse rally here. But first we'd have to get above 5246. So ATK, welcome in. We've got John Hall. Who else is in here? JW, good evening, brother. Dean. JW, always good to see you in here. Busy day as well. Busy day. I'm glad that you had a good day. I love you too, brother. Appreciate you being in here, mate. Hamza, good evening. Crypto Roger, I'm getting tired of holding my XRP for nothing in return. Years now. Thinking of buying a motorcycle to get my mind off of XRP 701 Enduro or Supermoto, sitting on about 30K in cash, restless. No, it's an emotional game. That's why it's important to understand cycles. You know, if you don't want to sit on it, you got to have that long-term mindset, though. If you're holding it through the bull market of 2021, you obviously had a greater intention, if that's the case. Jay, welcome in. Douglas, good evening. XRP fried chicken XDC on a rip there, boys. Yes, it is. We'll get into XDC tonight as well. It's one of ours that we own, so one of the 3Xs. We talked about it just the other day that it could be possibly starting reversal. As long as, I mean, it was at a very critical hold point, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. We got a lot with XRP. Jay, good evening. Crypto Roger, really don't need more XRP. I also have 3,000 ounces of silver. I'm out of things to buy. Fair enough, Crypto Roger. It's always good to see. If it makes anybody feel better, I even bought XRP at $1.60, so count your blessings for 52 cents. See, you're in here for a reason. You're somebody who can at least spread the message of the times we're in right now and how there's so much topside liquidity where people hold that we're going to have to make rallies back to those levels. You're just seeing someone could say to you, well, you're lucky to have it at $1.68. I'm holding it at $3.50 kind of thing. You know, so you got to count your blessings at all levels. But count your blessings that you're able to sustain it as well. So you understand. Who else? XRP fried chicken, got to that. Crypto Roger, welcome in. I've said that like 5 times. Dean, good evening. Mr. Extra Sour Cream Taco Supreme, welcome. D the Dude, good evening, Devin. Mr. Extra Sour Cream Taco Supreme, yeah, I tested out. You know, I just went on there real quickly with the live, but I don't like their live. I'll be honest. There's just so many questions, so I just was like, well, I want to see what this looks like. I don't like it. True, good evening. Jose, welcome in, my friend. True, it's always good to see you, and you too, Jose. Drake, good evening. Sean, Codizo, Justin, Charlotte, welcome in, love. Ben, welcome in. Speaking of Ben, what did I always tell you about BitBoy Crypto? He was a what? He was an entity within a larger game, and a lot of people were always like, oh, you're a fucking idiot. I told you, he wasn't even his own real brand. Rob, welcome in. O. Johnson, Mitchell Hines, Brandon, Albert, J.S., good evening. It would alarm you how many people on YouTube are part of a bigger agenda. I might have said too much. But you'll notice they're part of bigger, broader companies. A few people have exposed themselves who are, I don't even want to get into it. But you gotta be very careful who you trust on YouTube. If they have an agenda, you have to be very careful. So good evening. 9:33 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Monday, August 28th, 2023. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. Michigan football starts this Saturday. They put the game on Peacock. So, first they make you buy the Big Ten Network. Now they want you to stream off a thing called Peacock. They give you a free trial this year, but next year it'll probably cost you $60. But anyhow, I digress. XRP had a nice daily close. Yes, it looks red in nature. We had a daily candle that came all the way down to the 51 cents approximately. We came and touched on what we talked about yesterday. With the way that candle started, we said we were looking a little bearish there. And then we ended up coming down. We thought we were going to tap here. We ended up overrunning it a little bit. Now we're finishing out this pattern. But this was a great candle close. If we just get a little bit of pressure here, you see how we started like this and went right to a Dragonfly Doji on the daily. That's an excellent candle close. Now we're just trying to break through this region. Technically, the apex could bring us out to August 31st, as I believe we've been very transparent, or I have been in this channel. So in the daily, I'm very happy with that close. Even though it was below the 5246, it still at least showed that top end pressure. So if we look at these candles, every time we have lower wicks, we keep showing top end pressure. We're not really showing bottom side pressure, which means there's enough buyers here to sustain a rally. With a few other things that I'll show you, we might, have a reason why the broader market could be pushing a narrative here. They keep telling us go short, go short, go short. I'm still convinced that XRP in the 4 hour, in the daily, has to come up here and retest this area at minimum, at least this 20-day. So there's got to be a small rally in here, in my opinion. And I feel like I keep saying the same thing over and over the last few days, but I really feel like we got to come up here still. This looked like a bear flag coming in, but it was really set up as a beautiful bull flag because you came down. And yes, it dropped from up here. But look how we had the wick pull up. And now a tailor-made bull flag to come up. And there should be enough support up here. So now we're talking about we had the bearish cross, the 20 come through the 50, the exponential moving averages. Let me pull the arrow out. So this is the red line. That's the exponential moving average. 20 crossed the 50, then the 100. Oh, wow. I never even turned the comments on. I apologize, everybody. Wow. I suck. I was going to say, where's the comments? ATK, welcome to Tom's Army. Thank you so much. That is month 2. That's a 2-month subscriber, I believe that is. Yeah, that's the second month badge. Thank you for renewing the Tom's Army. I greatly appreciate that. If you're wondering what Tom's Army is, it's a good way that you can show support for me because I don't do paid promotions, paid advertisements, or paid sponsorships of any kind because I just feel like it cheapens the viewing experience. So if you're ever like, hey, I want to support this guy because of what he does, puts all of his stuff out for free, I don't have to watch any advertisements, I don't have to sit through the nonsense, and he teaches us every single day, I'll pin it. I don't expect it, but if you ever want to pay it forward, you too can join Tom's Army. And then that's just a way to show support. But we got to get back to the charts. That's the most advertising you'll ever hear out of me. So with XRP right now, we've been in this short-term formation. If we want to clean this up, first I want to finish this point though. If I want to clean this up after, I will. But ATK, my account kicked me out. Credit card got stolen. Had to order new ones. Hey, don't be sorry. You don't have to apologize to me. I'm sorry that you had to go through all of that just to try to support me. Yeah, other owners. How many of you even know that he had other people that worked with him? I don't have other owners. I'm just saying it's kind of a funny thing, a funny business that goes on. So I'm sorry, I missed a lot of the comments. That was my bad. I guess I was meant to miss it. So anyhow, let's continue. I can't be distracted here. So XRP, we formed this pattern, but we have this in the exponential moving averages. The 20 crossed the 50, then it crossed the 100. Now to form this death cross, if it comes through, that would confirm the short-term pattern reversal if we were to get a rejection after it happens. But first, I think we need to at least prove that We don't have any more steam here, but I think we have higher ambitions here. This could be a fake out here. That's a pretty big drop down and pull up. All we need is a little bit of topside liquidity here. And if we could get a hold, it could actually make a little bit of a move here. Now, we're only looking at about a 9% move here, 8 to 9% move initially, to see if we can even break through here. But if we take it off of the short-term pattern and go to the long-term pattern, and it makes a lot of sense. So, first thing you're going to see, we had a nice close. So I think this is where it's about time. I know the apex, we could go to Thursday, so technically we could go out to Thursday. So when I say it's about time, we're within a 72-hour window here. So it could happen at any point. I'm not a rocket scientist, nor do I have a crystal ball. All I have is the charts and the ability to chart what's happened in the past and predict what's going to happen in the future based on what could be the next move. I never tell you the only direction it's going to go. What I tell you is what it looks like day after day. So it looks more bullish after Dragonfly Doji close. It looks bullish after the start. So now I would anticipate we're going to come up here. Even if we get rejected at 544, I would anticipate we're going to come into that area. There is 533 if you look at the short-term chart, but we're trying to get rid of the short-term noise. So I think this would be your main area. And then it's like, well, what the hell is that area? It doesn't even make sense. Well, we have a farther, in the all-time pattern, the formation we're in, the downtrending resistance starts back here, but we're going to go to keep ourselves sane, we're going to go with, September of 2021, because this is the downtrending resistance. This is upper wicks that you'd have to go through. This is reality. Now, if you come down here, the uptrending support, I'll get to that donation in a second. Thank you so much. I can't even believe that. Seriously, thank you so much. I'll get to that in a sec, but incredibly generous. Always makes me feel some kind of way when somebody spends their hard-earned money on my craft. It really does. So the uptrending support started, what is that? March of 2010. So this is the formation we're in. Uptrending support, March of 2010. So that's when the formation is officially starting. So now we come over 3 years later. 3 years later, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, again, thank you so much for the donations. Wow. Speechless, always. I don't know how it happens. But thank you all so much. I don't even think I even brought up the YouTube super chats. Thank you. Tanya, thank you, love. I appreciate you being here as well. So I'll get to that in just a second. I promise I'll get to the donations in just a second. I'm just trying to finish this thought. So this formation started in 2020. So we do this. And it makes perfect sense what's going on. So we go da-da. So support, resistance. Now we come back through. We created a short term where we went up and consolidated finally. We went up and down, up and down. Finally we go up. But first we had resistance here starting the first time I told you before we brought it out. Then we had another resistance. Finally broke out. Now we come down and now we're going to see, is this resistance? Or are we going to come up and use it as a support? If it's a resistance, it's a clear indicator that we will likely come down to the 2020 uptrend, or 2020 uptrend at 375. And this is the all-time pattern. I just don't show it all the time because I like to stay in the short-term time frames. But technically, and don't kick me in the balls here, I'm just showing you what the chart is doing in the all-time. You form an apex point. So we've seen the uptrend where I showed you March of 2020. We have the downtrending resistance from sometime in early to mid 2021 where I showed you, just so we have the wicks. So you see the apex can come all the way over here, and there's nothing wrong with it. It doesn't mean we have to do it. We tried to break out here, didn't happen. Now we're going to try to consolidate, but if we go all the way to the end, that gets you to August of 2024. That's 1 year from now. It doesn't mean it's going to happen, but if we continue to play in this pattern, and if you break through, you have lower formations. This is the 2017, and then you have the 2013. And just for transparency, for anybody who's new, I actually went all the way back in these patterns. And I'm not going to pull it all up, but I went all the way back into here. We could start back even farther, but we went back. This is 2013, but I didn't go all the way back. That's where it starts. But you can see, I can pull it all the way back. But just for the sake of how far TradingView pulls out here in the daily, it's just easier to keep it where I have it. So now we get back to current times. Now that we filled that in, but first, I want to acknowledge the donations because it's seriously very, very generous. And it's a touching gesture every time somebody decides to donate their hard-earned money, I must say. So, and follow along here because this is very important what happens next. First of all, does that make sense to everybody? As I do my proper diligence and heart these. Yogurt, thank you so much for the $20. I appreciate that. And I stopped saying the currency names because it's $20 in whatever your currency is. Whether it's worth more or less than the US dollar, I'm not going to diminish or glorify it. I'm just going to thank you for the amount. So thank you so much. MDF, thank you for the $20 donation. I greatly appreciate that. Back to back. And then to end the three-peat, Trading with Jay Wright sends $10. Like, seriously. Thank you so much. It means a lot to me. It really does. It really does. But yeah, let's get back to this real quickly. So, if we just take this formation, just from being this, if we take this as being bullish with the Dragonfly Doji, this is the long pattern. This is the overall pattern formation in XRP. So we have 111 people watching. Wow, thank you all so much. Make sure to hit that like button. Only 65 likes. We're batting a terrible percentage right now. I think this information is worth at least a like. I put it out for free. I put in my heart and soul into it. I'm not fudding you. Hit that like button. I guess you could hit the dislike button. That's still a reaction. I wish they would show me how many people dislike, though. I used to like that. Oh, man, I'm really pissing people off tonight on accident. I got 37% of the people booing me. Oh. So if you hit that like button, though, it'll push my content, and we'll get around, right, Jay? You remember. But it'll get around the YouTube algorithm, the algorithm, and more people will be able to have an active discussion here. So if we do play this bullish, we'll at least have an initial push up here of about 3.72%. So it looks like we should start to push to this top side and see if we're, in fact, going to get resisted here. Shift, welcome in. Appreciate that. Appreciate you tuning in as well. Get ready for the Black Swan Psych. Yes, there's a lot of stuff that's going to happen as well. Just stay stocked up. A lot of talks here in the States. I don't know how it is around the country. You can let me know in the comments, but it looks like we're going towards another, you're going to be staying at home for a while. It looks like we're also going to be doing one of these again, you know. And it also looks like, you know, there's going to be another outbreak of the blah, blah, blah part 2. So just stay safe, stay informed. We'll have record viewing numbers here if that happens again. But it's starting to go all across the media. Ray, you're honest compared to others on YouTube. No wow and big news headlines. Now, I just show the news that's going on in the day. Just stuff that might be of interest. But I'm not a big wow person. I'd rather tell you the truth. If I'm lying to you, then I don't know what's going on in my own head. I need to know what's going on. But we're doing this as an investment. So we have to do it properly. I appreciate that. That's the biggest compliment I can receive. So the only news that we have tonight to talk about, if you stick around until we get through all the analysis, as we also need to look at XTC as it's making a little move. Michael Saylor shared this, and I always think it's interesting when he speaks because he never talks about the actual charts. So Michael Saylor shares rare Bitcoin stat. Is it a buy opportunity? So I want to stay ahead of that with our audience. And then this also was talked about today. And I was going to share it in just an update today, but I figured we'd have an active discussion here after. But think about this. Ripple is solely holding payment licenses in 31 U.S. states. The community reacts. So that's very interesting. If you think about how we're gaining clarity in the USA, despite how they're trying to spin the U.S. Lawsuit, we already have clarity with XRP not being a security with retail and programmable sales. That's not even being questioned. They already said it's nothing more than computer code. And what they're going after is Brad Garlinghouse and Christian A. Larson's as them misportraying basically what they're doing. The institutional sales are up for question, but it's already been solved. By them going after Christian A. Larson's and all that nonsense, they've already admitted that it's not a security. So that means institutions are off the hook. So the only and it's not like institutions can't buy, they just have to buy it on an actual exchange. So anyhow, we'll go to the stories after. finishing this because it's very important today. And I'm so proud of all of you for tuning in tonight, even though it's 9:48 p.m. and the East Coast here. Although some of you, I guess it's a better time. Mitch, hello, Tom from BC, West Coast, Canada. Hey, welcome in, Mick Shoot. Appreciate that. XRP 71 cents a can. There can't, I don't believe Mr. Extra Cream, I don't believe there can be an XRP settlement soon. Remember, they just gave their they gave their notions of when like Ripple would be willing to appear in court in 2024. So, I mean, I just expect this to be drawn out for a couple years. It's not going to hurt us. This is beautiful. And yes, there is a party on the 29th of September, and that's been confirmed. So, it's possible. I don't want to give my hopes up about a settlement. So, we're going to stay, So, anyhow, with the current price pattern, does everybody see this bull flag? I understand, and I know some people might be like, this guy's an idiot. He's been talking about the same thing for freaking 10 days. Like, can you stop already? We dropped down. We came up. Now we came through. That's a bull flag. I know it looks like a bear flag, but if this is true and it plays out, I know it can go until the 31st. The technical target's going to bring you up. It's actually a little bit higher. It was up in here. But now we've come down. So I think we're going to have that. I'm confused. I thought the settlement was over long. No. The settlement for retail investors and programmaticable sales is not debatable. So there's no doubt about it. Me and you can buy XRP. It's not a security. The only thing that's still up for debate is institutional sales, which is the big boys. But they can still buy on an exchange. They were just doing it an alternative way. Get some, alternative pricing measures. But that's all we're going to say about that. If there was a settlement in regards to institutional sales, that's when you would have the bigger move. It would be bigger than them saying retail is not a security. Absolutely. Now, does it get you to all-time highs? That's debatable. But at some point, we have from 20... I wouldn't be... Listen, guys and gals. I wouldn't be giving your hopes on it. Let's cross our fingers. But remember, the paperwork, the official documents are already in for 2024 and 2025, possibly. Yep. Absolutely, I seen the news. Here, we can talk about that today as well for anybody who sticks by. Like I always say, if somebody gives me a good topic to talk about, I seen the NFT news. The SEC went after, I can't remember who it is. They're suing him, though, for some kind of offering BS. SEC NFT. I actually seen it. I was going to share it. Now I'm glad I didn't. Because I like to talk about it too. Yep, the NFT sold our securities. This is exactly what I read earlier. So we'll talk about this as well. So we already have, after we get done with the TA, if you're interested in sticking around, Michael Saylor shares Rare Bitcoin stat is it a buy opportunity. We've got Ripple is solely holding payment license in 31 U.S. states. And then we've got in a first, the SEC says NFT sold by an LA-based entertainment firm are securities. Here's how that could ripple throughout the industry. So a lot of stuff to talk about. There's Gary Gensler's bald head. I really think instead of worrying about the case, we need to send him some nice turtle wax. He looks like my teacher. And Mr. Crocker, if you're watching, I apologize. He was our assistant principal in middle school, Bemis Junior High. And I didn't mean to say it, but I swear to you, he had a bottle of turtle wax on the shelf behind him, and I'll never understand it. And I got in trouble, literally. And I remember my dad got to school, and he defended me. But this kid bullied me. He tried to bully me. I was big. I was a fat kid. I don't know why he was trying to bully me. And he, tried to, hit my book and push me into the locker, so I just ducked him. He tried to punch me. I didn't flinch, and I punched him, and he started basically crying. So I was sitting in the thing, and I got suspended. I still don't know why. I was just defending myself. And he's sitting there, and I couldn't help it. It was like it was just telegraphed to me, and I'm waiting for my dad to get there. I'm like, whatever. I'm going to get in trouble anyhow. And I'm like, Mr. Crocker, I'm like, you need to use that turtle wax. Your bald head needs a nice wax. And I said something, and I said, and he got so pissed off. I feel like he was going to laugh, but Mr. Crocker, if you're watching, I think he's still alive. I haven't heard that he passed away, but he was old. You know, not old, old. I guess not even that old considering I'm going to be 40 soon. So closer to, you know, I'm getting closer to where he was at, mid-50s. I don't consider that old. I think you have to turn 70 before you start turning the other way. So that's my firm belief. But anyhow, I got suspended. And the worst part was it was the day before my birthday, right before Christmas break. My birthday is December 17th, so I got suspended the day before it, which ended up being right before the Christmas break, which meant that, yeah, you know, that's fun. But I wasn't a fighter. I was a lover. The only time I ever fought is when somebody tried to pick on me. Say the same thing now. I don't like to fight. But I can. So that's why I have a demeanor like I have. So anyhow, let's get back to the charts before everybody leaves. I know I would leave. So we have this formation filling out. It can go until the 31st. So let's go back into the shorter time frame. Because I want to talk about all this stuff. There's so much stuff. It's ridiculous. So we've seen the numbers we've been talking about. So that 544 basically, that little bit of a move up. Well, first, we got to come up here to the 524. We acknowledge that. Then we can come up to that area we talked about. But first, we have to break out of this short-term formation and start to move back up towards the ascending triangle formation. It's harder to see and try to break back out of this formation. That's where we were at before this pattern. Now, is this a bull? I'm going to ask again because it drives me nuts. Is this a bull flag or is this a bear flag? Real quickly, is that a bull flag or is that a bear flag? I think it's a bull flag designing a bear flag, which means that short-term move is a bear trap. But what do I know? I mean, I'm just asking. Yes, DGB should be coming to your fave, Ruben. DGB and the Internet of Things, just think about it. Smart cities coming to a city near you, 15 minutes to get to every place you want. Conveniently, the land is just becoming available. It's so ironic how things work, but such a blessing for the ones in charge. You know, because we're going to... Positivity. This is a good thing. You know, if we're going to do it, we got to do it right. That's why we have the blah, blah, blah. So what's behind it all? My point is the Internet of Things. That runs all of these smart houses, the smart cities. Just do some research. So that's why I always push the tokens. DGB, IOTA, VChain. I'm missing one. I'm missing one of the smaller ones. So VChain, DGB, IOTA, Theta, Filecoin, those are all ones that are part of the Internet of Things. So pay attention to that in this next chapter. I'm telling you, that it's mind-boggling how cheap some of them are. George, thanks for joining Tom's Army, month 1 in Tom's Army, and we know that, not just because it says it on the screen, but because if you join Tom's Army in month 1, you get the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. Louisville has been a member of Tom's Army for over a year. Richard Williams for about, that one is the 1, 2, that's either the 4th or 5th month emoji badge. The 589 Crypto Solo Scrooge is over 2 years in Tom's Army. We got some proud support here in the audience. Make sure you watch Crypto Solo Scrooge as he covers Sologenic, XRP, Corium, and all those good things. Homegrown. So thank you so much, George, for joining Tom's Army. And that emoji badge is me being abducted by aliens, and it is me superimposed my face on there. I kid you not. A girl I met through social media made it for me. Awesome. Awesome. Somebody else who was a creator. I think her thing's called like Golden CC Creations or something. She does, what the hell do you call it? I don't know what you call it. Julie does it too. Crocheting. Very good at it. So anyhow, getting back to this. So if we break through here, wait a minute. I want to see if my question got answered. Bull flag and a nasty bear trend. Yes, stay calm. It's what I'm thinking too. You have the best crypto show ever, Tom. Always honest. Thank you and God bless. Hey, George, I appreciate that. Really, I do. Bless you, my friend. 53 is what has been the biggest resistance. We fall every time it Yep. Yep. Perfect comment. Perfect comment. Let's get into the shorter time frame. We can actually pinpoint where you're talking about, too. It's that Right now, it's going to be right around, actually, it's a little bit higher now. But we come into this area. But it's actually where you use it. That 524, if you just look at it, that's been the one consistent. Because we've actually had pushdowns there at every region or breakouts right at it. That's why I think that's a big pivot level right now, that 524. But that also is created as a big pivot level because the higher time frames, you get the moving averages, like the daily, which is very important. We need to push past that. We need one burst in the daily is what we really need. We haven't gotten it at all. But it really seems to me like they're setting it up as a bear trend, and it needs to come up here and at least touch some of this liquidity. Where I circled it, there's a whole bunch of money up in this. There's a bunch of money up there. It can come up there and grab it. And that could pull it further down. So that's really the story with XRP. Are we going to come up there? Are we going to grab it? Can we first get over the 5246? Yes, ATK. Exactly. Hey, who was that? George T, welcome in. What's going on, brother? I appreciate the comment. Thank you. Nick, facts time I can fight. I just don't want to. I grew up in Cleveland where I had to. Yep, exactly. And, when I was growing up, like now it's a big thing with, like I'm white, obviously, but I'm also Lebanese, mostly Italian and Lebanese. But my Lebanese side showed more when I was a kid, so just imagine what the African Americans get called. I was called the sand N-word in school. So there was only 3 or 4 African Americans in my school, which were my closest friends, ironically, because I played sports and obviously far superior to anyhow. So I would get called that in school. So I know what it's like to be called certain names. Sand Flea, Sand Wigga with, obviously you can change the name. You can change the first letter from a W to an N. I got called a lot of things when I was in school. So, let's see if we can break through here in the short time. This is the market cap, so this is going to tell us a lot right now. 27.6 billion right now is that level. That's a short-term level that we need to break past. Still not pulling up as much as I would like to see. I would like to see a breakout here. In just a small attempt. We're on top of the 3-hour. But again, every time we start to get a little momentum, look at this in the 3-hour. That, right now, could be constituted as we're getting a little bit more bearish in the zone now. So we'll see what happens. So I think I've talked all I can about XRP. That's 32 minutes there. Make sure to hit the like button. We've got 99 likes. The more you hit that like button, the more I can get this pushed around on the YouTube algorithm, and it would mean a lot. Bitcoin real quick. Yep. We're going to try to push that 26,193. I love you too. The 26,193. And I think we still need to retest up here. We've had this bearish cross. Or the death cross. Like, are we really bearish here? Like, are we really bearish this bad? Normally you would get a big retest here. It makes me uneasy to think we're just going to go back down. Khan, welcome in, my friend. Ben, what's better buy this week? H-bar, Casper, or Algo? Algo, probably. Algo's down 96.5% from its swing high. Actually more. Like 97% from its swing high in the last bull market. It's getting slaughtered. It's under 10 cents right now. But all of them are good buys, but I think that one's the best buy right now as far as we're priced in relation to where it's been. No problem, Ben. If I make $1 million of crypto, Tom. Wait, if I make $1 million off crypto, Tom, I'd give you half. No, you don't need to give me half. If you want to show a gesture, do it. But what would make me happy is not sending me half. If you want to send me a gesture, that's fine, but put most of that into some precious metals for yourself, and then you can be your own central bank after you make that money. You can always show me your appreciation, but you don't need to give me half. I'm not a greedy person. It'd make me feel better, though, if you put some of it towards precious metals. So XDC, if this actually does break up out of this formation, XDC is in line for a massive breakup. The one obstacle in our way, and we talked about it before we reversed, that 575 is massive resistance right now. It's just old parts of the formation, and that's an area where we've always had problems. So if we can get past that, this is technically lining up. If XDC wants to break out, and this was a huge consolidation, and we hold at the bottom, unlike XRP did, this is like a falling wedge. This is what XRP failed to hold. It did the exact same thing as XRP, except this broke out at the apex. XRP broke down after a small sideways consolidation. This is what we were looking for out of XRP. The technical move out of this would all but guarantee you, if you can get over this area, the move out of here should get you back up to at least 7-8. Now, if you break through this and create an all-time swing high here in this formation, you have a technical target that could bring you up to 10-9. It's a big move. It's a big move, and that would insinuate here that this would in fact be being used as a left shoulder. And then you would create something like this ultimately. And that doesn't mean it has to stop. And it doesn't mean it goes that quickly. You could even go, it's just instituting that this isn't the end game. It could be coming up, in fact, and creating something much bigger. So that's what we're waiting for. But that's the first step of a possible real nice bullish reversal here. Breaking out of the descending triangle, not falling wedge. I don't know what the hell I'm talking. The descending triangle. XRP was in more of a falling wedge, so it was a little different. I don't know. This could be like a descending wedge, I guess. But anyhow, in any case, it converged to the apex and broke out exactly where it needed to. I mean, identical. I could not have drew this out any better. It even hit the 498 pivot point. Now it's coming up to the resistance up here at 575. If it gets on top of that, has a nice spike over and uses it as support, XDC could be off to the races for a little bit. If it gets up there and holds it, we very well could be off to the races for a little bit. We did not have a lot of sell volume. The one thing I do notice on this push-up, though, is, if we break it down like this, a little bit of volume, but we're going to have to get some volume to support this. We're coming up to a very key 2-hour time frame resistance. So that would be the area at 5.7, 5.75 where you would get that first rejection. So doing exactly what it should do if it's trying to make a breakout or if it gets rejected here as well. Solo was one I wanted to hit as well real quick. Solo had a breakout a little bit. We started buying it on FOMO Fridays, as everybody knows who's tuned in. It's had a nice push out, nice bull flag formed. This looks like a continuation pattern. Should come down here to about the 8-9. Yeah, that's in the 2-hour though. We have a bullish cross. Should come down here to about the 8-9 level. Let's see where that golden cross probably happened in the 30-minute now. Yep, so the golden cross in the 30, so that's not the one. We need to come probably lower than that. Yeah, see, so that's better. 897. So there you go. I think we have to come there probably. That's close. I guess you don't have to come there, but I'd be comfortable if it came down there. Just to confirm this bullish cross that's about to happen. We've already had a short-term trend reversal. It's just we're trying to confirm it in a longer way. Solo, though, if it starts moving, it's got some work. That's a very big falling channel, and these are bullish reversals. And typically, if they do reverse bullishly, they at least come back up to touch the top. So we'll see how far that technically reverses here. Crypto solo screws, no problem. But look, didn't we nail that? You were in here the night we did it. Didn't we nail that falling channel from up here? And where we said it was going to meet, and how it met down here in the perfect support would be a nice drop down and hold. And it came right down to exactly where we charted it. Played this perfectly. Like, you can't make that. That's when you're doing charting and you're like, okay. And now, let me show you something else, everybody. You know how we create layers? That was the downtrending resistance. Let me show you something. This is the resistance without the wicks. Just where we were creating the real resistance. Now, if you do it by wicks, we can front run this pattern into the next resistance. So the wicks were telling us, well, we had a history of breaking through the falling channel, but then falling back into it. So technically, we know we haven't done anything until we break over that false breakout area. That's the wick area. The actual falling channel, which we kept falling back into, is right here. But we came up a few times on the switch, so now we front run it, and we know our next major resistance is that 10-1 area. Just a small trick I've learned over the years. Use it for yourself. And then, by doing this, ready? We have a clear support. Watch this. Clear support. We created a formation like this. And now we have the downtrending resistance to know where the apex zone could meet. Right here. So let's back this up. We need to move it up top because this has to line up. I know it's stupid, but it has to line up. There we go. Whoops. Son of a bitch. It'll make sense in a second, I promise. I need that out of the way. So that lines up right there. Now this is like the overextension area. So when I say we've overextended, this is the overextension. So that's exactly what we formed right now. We formed a completely new pattern. Yes, we could come from here and use this as a resistance, but why do that? This is the overriding resistance. Why shorten it to a fake out? Because a lot of people will say, well, Tom, all you have to do is come from over here. I know. And then you can do your breakout. And then, but now it looks like a breakout. Now you have the false perception we've actually broke out. No. What you're doing is you're trying to use that as support to try to attempt to break out. It sounds stupid, but we're trying to have an attempt, just like the SEC asked for a reason to do an interlocutory appeal because they didn't know if they had the support to do it. Right now, Solo's seeing if it has the support. So right now, it's asking for the support by coming down to 897, 8957, somewhere in there, to be able to push up to the real resistance at 10-1. But we don't know if we have overwhelming support down here, which we could find by resistance. Now a breakout in that area, trying to use that support. You see how this pattern comes together? Now it's not just a falling channel, but now we have a running. So now what I would have is a short-term chart with just the channel, and then I would have this long-term chart with how we had it when we first came into here. Louisville, this channel is awesome. Tom is on point 100. Everyone barely getting into crypto at these prices are in great shape. Hold on, let me pull that back up. And everybody normally leaves during this just because it's not XRP, but I think this is valuable. Tom is on point. Everyone barely getting into cryptos at these prices are in great shape. I got in at the height of the market, and now I'm just holding. Yep, exactly. Thanks, Crypto Scrooge. I appreciate that. It's not that I don't want to do. It's not that I don't want to do $100, but I got to make sure I have everybody's best interest at heart. So we got to do it over the long term. $50. We're already doing algo, so we're already doing $125 a week or $500 a month. That's $6,000 a year. So I have to think of the ones. Even myself. You know what happened? Here's a hard reality. My house payment was $1,300 a month. $1,324, but I have everything escrowed in. So that's my state, my taxes for spring and summer, or summer and winter. You know, and everything's escrowed in. My insurance for my house. Well, this year, it went up from $1,324. My state and homeowner, or my state tax for summer and winter went up to $4,400 a year. It's up about $1,100 for the year. And then my homeowner's insurance went up, so it was a good amount. Everything went up. My monthly payment went from $1,328 to $1,800. The payment for the house didn't go up because of the raise in the taxes and the homeowner's insurance. My literal house payment went up over $500 a month for everything put in. I could pay it separately, but get prepared, everybody. It's not cheap owning a home. I'm just going to be in a blessed position where I can pay my house off quicker than most. I'll talk about it when the day comes, but I won't have to eat this for very long. My interest did not go up. I have a fixed interest for my mortgage is a fixed over 30 years. I don't do variable. No, just my taxes. Just my taxes. But though I can tell you for a fact the homeowners went up by, what was it, about 54% in my area from year to year. My taxes went up 33% year over year. which if you put that into the grand play, that added a good $3,000 minimum to my payments that I was already making. That added just by itself about $400 a month. So that's not just going to be me. And they appraised my house and put it higher than it's supposed to be. My house when I bought it was $220. I paid $160. But they appraised it at $220. Julie's cousin owned it. I let's just say I made a steal. And when they reappraised it after us owning it for a year, they reappraised it at $238,500. I love the house, but between me and you, this house is worth what I paid, $160. No more. It should probably be worth about $140 in a normal environment. But $238? If you bought this house at $238, you're going to be upside down. It's good for my equity in the house because that means I'm carrying $90,000 in equity, and knowing, well, I only owe $144 because of what I put down. So, and plus the payments, which that's another con all in itself. If you've never owned a home, you might be paying off. I might be making an $1,800 payment next month, which is absurd. Like, I can't even believe that's going to be my payment next month. But as it is, you know, I can afford it. It's going to cut back on some other things, but I can certainly afford it. Exactly, Chet. And you have to pay, your taxes go up based on what they appraise your house at, which is, so they're going to continue to raise the prices so that you have to pay more. Not just that, for anybody who lives in the USA, you want to know another truth? My water bill, my actual water consumption, and I have 3 kids, me and Julian, also 5 people, was $78. Well, with all the updates, with sewage and everything, it cost me $277. $202 was not even water consumption. So, I mean, they're nickel and dime in the middle class, ladies and gentlemen. And this is, I know. See, we got through XRP. If everybody wants to leave, that's fine. But this is when you get to know me more. So if you're interested in who I am, 98 people still sticking out, and I commend you. 113 likes, fantastic. Thomas Silver, close enough to buy now. Yeah, 79.3. There's no reason to hesitate buying it because this is a long-term game. You're looking to accumulate silver until we end up pushing out, because at some point silver is not going to stay as undervalued as it is. We're moving into the next chapter here. What are we going to do? It's actually a better value than it looks. Remember what we talked about with gold. It's not actually down or silver. The dollar is just going parabolic right now. So right now, you're getting actually a really good deal on gold and silver because the dollar's overinflated. You get to buy more for cheaper. But this is a very big rising channel. I mean, remember what we looked at with Solo? This is doing the opposite. It's almost like Solo's mimicking the US dollar. Opposite. Opposite, though. And the cool thing about Solo is it's like less than a 300 million circulating supply. So Crypto Solo screws definitely open my eye. I've been watching this content for months now. He doesn't know it because I haven't commented a lot, but I always hit the like button, but I share his stuff a lot, so he knows I'm a fan. And that's why I always bring him up when I see him in the chat. But he brings up some freaking awesome stuff. And it's actually got me much in the loop to where now we're doing it on FOMO Fridays. Which I think is a really cool thing. So this is a rising channel. And you can see that's in a rising channel. And gold, especially gold. What's gold in? It was in a very big falling channel. Well, once we started the reversal last week, we set our next targets up here. That's going to determine, are we bullish or bearish in gold? 1932. If we're bearish there, not a good sign. But if we are showing bullishness there, we can come up to 1987 after that. It's all within the formation. Like, we already know what's going to happen. We just got to get there. Gold's eventually going to break out. It's been in a formation, and I've talked about this before, and I think it makes people like, holy crap. Look at this cup and handle we were in. We literally just finished this cup and handle. This goes all the way back to 2011. We had a 12-year consolidation. You think, and then putting in this W reversal here, you think after a 12-year consolidation, gold's just going to give it up? I think that 12-year cup and handle, now putting in a very bullish handle. Everybody who knows about the cup and handle pattern, very bullish right there. You've essentially done everything you need to do here. If you break out and touch all-time highs here, I mean, I mean, you can't go back in the history where you would be in. I mean, you would legitimately be in discovery. You would be in price discovery after having a massive liquidity flush, after coming up here, doing a big cup and handle for 12 years, doing it again in 2020. And this is when I told everybody, get ready. We sold out of our crypto. Ready? Watch this. In 2021, we were up here when we started looking at it. It was up here when we sold our crypto. It was about 1980. It was actually maybe a little bit less. Let me get in there real quick. I remember I had the speech right here. We're in this range over here. This was up at about 1900. It was right about 1900. I said, we need to have our dry powder. And when we sold out, I said, please pay attention to precious metals. We didn't do anything when it had the rise. But when it came down here, we made a move. It was the same thing with silver. When we sold out, we got to make a move on silver as well. Like, we got some, and nobody really believes it, but we got $17 silver while I was on the air. You know, so looking at it at $17 after we sold out of our crypto for our massive gains, put it in 2021 to precious metals when the time was right. Now those purchases at $1,700 and $1,650, gold's at $19.20 and silver's at $24. And our crypto's down 80 to 97%. But we got back in to our XRP after selling out at $1.66 with a 47-cent average, and we're able to get back in at 34.5 cents. We kept a $5,000 crypto portfolio and put the rest basically in precious metals when the time was right. I mean, now we've got, as a unit, a lot of money put in precious metals as well. So that's what's going on there. Anybody who's still here to watch this, I appreciate you sticking through the spew. Precious metals are important. I know we've lost like 50 people since I went into that, but I don't look at it as losing anybody. I look at it as the ones who are staying, I know, are gaining the wisdom. And it's somebody, the ones that I see who stick around, I am more confident in going to you when I have questions because I know. So, Dean, thank you very much. Matt just bought my first silver bar. Thanks, Tom. And beautiful. Silver bar is fine. You want to buy bars and rounds. You don't want to buy any of the prestigious, the collector metal. You just want to buy silver rounds or metal or silver bars. That's exactly what you want. Tom, let's do $100 FOMO Fridays. You can do $100, but I got to do it for the audience. There's not as many people. Some people are not very well off, and $50 is all they can do. I did that as a very strategic thing on FOMO Fridays. It's worked very well. You have to be patient. It took us 9 weeks to get H-bar, 10,057 tokens. It took us, 7 or 8 weeks to get Casper, 10,000 plus tokens. And now we're on the solo. We'll do it accordingly. But we're in a very tight economy right now. And the whole point of this is I'm going to allow as many people as possible to do this. But I wouldn't mind doing 100. It's just, we also have Winning Wednesday, so we're doing 125 a week. So here's this I want to share. We'll share these articles, and then we'll say our goodbyes probably, and, we can see what happens. Michael Saylor shares rare Bitcoin stat. Is it a buy opportunity? Michael Saylor, the executive chairman and co-founder of MicroStrategy, revealed an interesting metric on Bitcoin. Bitcoin price in the context of the spot Bitcoin ETF filings. In recent times, MicroStrategy gained prominence as it currently holds the status of being the largest institutional investor in the Bitcoin in the world. So Bitcoin's rare flip below average. On Monday, August 28, 2023, Saylor shared a statistic on Bitcoin price that shows Bitcoin historically trading below the crucial 200-week moving average. Generally, this position has been associated with the bullish wave. Hence, Michael Saylor is indicating that in the current price range, the cryptocurrency is trading at a buy zone with the potential for upside. Rarely does Bitcoin trade below its 200-week moving average, he said in a tweet. And you can clearly see it came below. But now we're trying to come topside up. But we have had major rallies in the small amounts of time that we actually touched or came below for any moment of time. We technically didn't get rejected there as we had a wide W formation. So I still think there's potential here. I mean, you can't really listen to him for much, but it is what it is. So interesting. This is what. So that's what he said. That's all. That's what he talked about. So that gets through that. Um, and then this was interesting. Ripple is solely holding payment licenses in 31 U.S. states. Community reacts. So the crypto community reacts to claims of XRP holding a unique competitive advantage due to Ripple receiving regulatory approval from 31 U.S. states. And this is big news. And I guarantee most of the audience has left now. I don't even need to look. I think we probably have below 75 people right now. I only say that because we stopped talking about XRP and we got into facts. And it's amazing how once I get off the charts and we start talking about some stuff that is really important with metals and the news and things like that, how quickly. That's amazing. So the XRP community now sees another reason to be bullish. And I'll share this separately. I'll share this in an update tonight so everybody can see this who's not here. And I appreciate everybody. Oh, I know the people who stay here. Trust me. I know the ones who stay here day after day. I really do. John, have a good night, my friend. Sleep well. The XRP community now sees another reason to be bullish about the potential of XRP in this case. The XRP's bullishness, the XP Army's bullishness centers around the multitude of licensed Ripple holds across many jurisdictions in the United States. In a recent tweet, XRP influencer Wall Street Bulls highlighted that Ripple holds regulatory approval from 31 U.S. states. In particular, these are money transmitter licenses (MTLs). The influencer argued that such many approvals grant Ripple and XRP a unique advantage, according to Wall Street Bulls. Neither Bitcoin nor Ethereum boosts a similar feat. Moreover, the XRP influencer highlighted the MTLs, and I want to know what everybody thinks about this. Is this relevant? I think it's got some legs to it. This isn't FUD, it's true. As a revolutionary development solely benefiting XP within the crypto space, in his words, a unique advantage not held by Bitcoin and Ethereum. This paves the way for XRP's mainstream adoption. MTLs allow legal money transmission, a game changer for XP alone in the crypto space. And then that's exactly what he says. There's his tweet. So then when the crypto community reacted, I'm sure they said, since the XRP influencer argued Bitcoin and Ethereum do not hold the licenses Ripple held, someone left a disapproving remark. I'm sure Bitcoin CEO will work out for a license. The comment implies that comparing Bitcoin and Ripple in terms of regulatory license was incorrect. Bitcoin is digital money, not needing a license, while Ripple is a payment firm requiring approval to process people's funds. Meanwhile, others mentioned that Ripple is not the only digital payment firm with that many regulatory. Hey, Matt, welcome to Tom's Army. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate you joining Tom's Army. That is incredibly awesome. We've had 2 new members of Tom's Army tonight. That's incredible. And that's me being abducted by aliens in month 1, and that's my face superimposed, so you know that I've been abducted. And Randy and everybody who's still in here, thank you so much. I also seen a comment. What did that say? I think the other platforms have the same. That's what I want to hear. I want to hear people put in their thoughts. Notably, Ripple's official website confirms the business maintains 31 money transmitter license from the U.S. Missing names on the list include California, New York, Texas, and Florida. So here's all the states, ladies and gentlemen. So by jurisdiction, we've got Alabama. And this is money transfer licenses. So Alabama's got the Securities Commission, Alaska with the Department of Commerce, and you can read it on the side. We got Arizona, Arkansas, Colorado, Delaware, Georgia, Idaho, Illinois, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maine, Maryland, Michigan. I've already talked about Michigan, how I can buy stuff. And then in certain states, I can buy it as well using XRP. Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, New Mexico, North Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island. Some of them are currency transmitters, though. Most of them are money transmission licenses. But some are currency, as you see. South Dakota, Utah, West Virginia, and Wisconsin as seller of checks. So, a lot of good news. Matt, I've learned more in 2 weeks than in 2 years. Oh, that is awesome. Nope, California is not on there. California is one of the big ones not on there. I've seen a few other big ones. Did we see Texas on there? No, we didn't see Texas either. I was going to say that's another big one. missing from the list as well. That's pretty interesting. No California, no Texas. And then some more that I'll share separately in an update. I'll probably share this one early AM just because it's not XRP related, but it is crypto related. And a first, hey, Matt, you're meant to find it when you're supposed to, I always believe. And I commend you for staying here at this point and joining Tom's Army. As you see, we have 75 people here. The majority stayed. We had 130 people that would be here if we were still talking about XRP. But I think this all ties in together. Like, think about what this implication is. And at first, the SEC says NFTs sold by an LA-based entertainment firm are securities. Here's how that could ripple throughout the industry. Like, this is some unbelievable news. This just reiterates everything we think about the SEC. Although, I'm honestly honored, though. Just looking at it, 80 people in here. Do you know how many we used to have a couple months ago? 40, 50 max. So to think now, like when we hit a low, we're at 80. It's so weird. So it just shows how far we've come as a community. And that's not me. That's on all of you. A-Win IPO traded between $7 to $18, which is drones, blockchain, and AI. Much more trading around 20. Wait a minute. Much more around 24 and after hours with P. Are you saying it's at 24 cents right now? That's actually. No. The way he broke that down. The way he broke that down is more than just. That is more than just a. Listen. Sometimes it's somebody trying to FUD or trying to pump some other thing or trying to spawn something on us. That sounds like he's got a little bit of education there. I can tell the difference between somebody just trying to do a dog and pony. He brought up a very fine PE ratio. Let me see that again. I'm going to look that up and I'm going to take a search real quick to see if it's on my platform so I can take a closer look. Because in the new time, let's see. Because the new time we're in, he's talking something that. Because I'm thinking he's saying that's the price that it came down to. If that's the case, I mean, you want to talk about holy. So that, he said A1. So let me get my chart out. I'm just curious because I like to see what the audience does. Then we're going to go back into that. So I'm assuming it's A-Win Technologies. Oh, they put a limit on here. It's so stupid. Let's see. I mean, what do I have on here that I don't give a crap about? They all have a reason. We'll look at it after. I got to get through this anyhow. But please further A-Win's at 0.21. That's actually not a bad price. I wish they had it on Cash App. I'll be honest with you. They do not have it. So I would have to look at it on my Charles Schwab. Anyhow, let's continue on here. That's a good tip, though. I'll look further into that. That PE ratio is off the charts good. It's right where you want to be. So in a first, the SEC says NFTs sold by an LA-based entertainment firm are securities. Here's how that could ripple throughout the industry. There's Gary Gensler. That's a stud of a human being if I've ever seen one. Also, look, we can't even read theirs because we got to pay for their stuff. So isn't that funny? So Fortune Crypto, that's endless publicity. But see, they're going to charge you for the information. That's no different than on our forums. People charge you for the information that I'll give you for free. Here's another instance. They're going to try to charge you for to get a subscription to get the information. We'll just go to the next one. XCC charges podcaster and first. Wait a minute. What the hell is this? Oh, yeah. XCC charges podcaster and first unregistered security sale claim against NFT offerings. Remember when I always talked about a lot of influencers are going to have to be very careful, ladies and gentlemen. I crossed my I's. I dotted my I's and crossed my T's. You know how I did that? By staying independent from all offers I ever got. So I always say you don't know how attainable it is for somebody with my size, and it's not even that big, but having over 18,000. Do you know how rare it is for somebody to not to have paid advertisers or sponsorships or promotions? They offer me a lot of money to do all that. I just feel like it's a nefarious purpose, and I feel like I'm going to get a lot farther doing it this way. It may take a lot longer. I may not get as much publicity. I may have a lot of enemies unintentionally, but we're doing it the right way. Oh, he sure did. A lot of them did. So Impact Theory produces entertainment and educational podcasts, and was trying to build the next Disney when it invited investors to purchase its NFT. The United States Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, has charged the media and entertainment company with conducting unregistered security sales when it sold non-fungible tokens, NFT, to investors between October and December 2021. Impact Theory, a Los Angeles-based company that produces entertainment and educational content, included several podcasts, allegedly raising almost $30 million through the sales of NFTs. It called Founders Keys, which were offered in 3 tiers. The company encouraged potential investors to view the purchase of a Founders Key as an investment into the... I feel like I remember this. I remember this Founders Key shit. People asked me about this back in 2021 when I was on. I remember this garbage. Huh. Well, I'll be damned. I never actually thought anything would happen to them, but I remember people bringing this up. And I used to say NFTs are not worth dick. Not that they're not cool, but they're just not worth the value that they're trying to propose. That's like me but trying to buy baseball cards for $10,000 and just waiting 2 years, and now it's only worth $2. It happened to us on a lot of stuff. Nothing more than the Beanie Babies. Oh, I remember those sons of bitches. I had them all. They told you, oh, you're going to be rich with Beanie Babies. So Impact Theory emphasized that it was trying to build the next Disney, and if successful, it would deliver tremendous value to founders, key purchasers. That's an initial coin offering, you dopes. You can't do that. That is what it is. The SEC found that the NFTs were investment contracts, and so securities in the company violated the Securities Act of 1933 by selling them without registration. It issued a cease and desist order that Impact Theory has agreed to. Under the SEC order, the company was ordered to pay a total of more than $6.1 million in disgorgement, prejudgment interest, and a civil penalty without admitting to or denying the agency's findings. Further, a fund will be created to return money to investors, and Founders Key NFT Impact Theory will destroy all Founders Keys in the possession or control, publish a notice of the order on its websites and social media channels, and not receive royalties from future sales of the NFTs on the secondary markets. So I'll do 2 separate updates with these for anybody who hasn't seen these. One will come in a little bit, one will come later this AM. But it'll just be independent updates here. Just reading this news, reading this. And I might even do one for old Michael Saylor so everybody can see this. So make sure you guys hit that like button if you appreciate my work. I got to get going. I got to go see what my son's doing. It's getting late. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you appreciate what I do. And I'll catch you guys on another live. I appreciate each and every one of you that stuck it out here until the end. And until next time, stay blessed. And remember, we bring the light in a world